there's only one question you need to ask yourself in 2025 if you want to win an online business, and that is, what are you willing to give up to become a millionaire, rather than what are you willing to do? Because a lot of the times, especially in the beginning, it's about elimination, not addition. So if you're not willing to sacrifice anything to become a millionaire, you will never become one. Okay, so I've been making content on social media for about 2 years now, and I've seen some decent results. And I've obviously learned a lot. And today I'm going to show you how to get the results I got in a much faster time than I did, because obviously I had to make a lot of mistakes to get to this point, or to get to the point where I got 300 million views in only 10 months. Right. So I have created my content creator 360-degree flywheel. So let me draw that for you here. Content creator. Okay, 360 is obvious. 360 degrees, it's a circle. You know? I don't think I have to explain that, but okay, whatever. So you have the start here at the top. You have the process. You have execution. And you have the results. So this is basically what I've noticed to be the core of creating content and winning in the game of content creation. Now, you have the creator, which is you here in the middle. So all this is pointless if you are not here, or if you are not committed, or if you don't make the decision to actually start. And by starting, one thing you're going to realize is you're literally going to beat at least 80% of people. Literally, like immediately, by just starting. And so crazy how it's so easy to win. And this is something I always say in most of my videos. There is no competition. Because most people are afraid to even press the post button. I can guarantee you right now that if you've ever posted a video, you'd be surprised to learn and find out just how many people wish they could do that simple action, right? So yeah, just start. Literally, you're 80% in the game. Well, 80% to winning the game, rather. Now, once you start, you're going to realize a lot of things. And I think the first thing you're going to realize is that it's actually harder than it looks, right? It's a simple framework that you should follow. Just post content consistently, daily if you can. In fact, if you want to win, post as much as you possibly can, because if you're going to post 30 videos in the next 30 days, then you're going to learn and improve much faster than someone who's going to post 30 videos in, let's say, a span of 3 months. Do you get it? It's obvious. It's all about numbers, especially in the beginning. If you want to get better, the only way is to throw as many darts as you possibly can to the wall, right? And something will stick. Okay, so getting back to this, after starting, you're going to get into a process. Now, the process is quite simple, but this is heavily dependent on research. So what you're going to do here is find at least 10 to 20 creators in any niche of your choice. Let's say fitness influencers that are doing really well. Pay attention to the videos that do really well on their pages. I would say maybe pay attention to the ones that get 1 million plus views. So study all those videos from those 20 creators. And one thing you're going to notice is there's a common trend in the videos that do well. And one thing you need to realize is if something can go viral once, it can go viral again. Okay, so now that you know this little hack, what you're going to do is not necessarily copy and paste, but what you're going to do is you're going to take the content that does well, repurpose it, and make it in a way that ties to you, and try and improve it. Whether that's the quality of the video, well, this applies to the people who actually can maybe afford to buy a new camera. If you can't, it doesn't matter, right? Just do the best with whatever you have at the moment. Okay, so either you're going to use better captions, or you're going to use a better sound, or even use better angles for the exact same video. So your goal is to try and make it better, try and make it more engaging, try and make it you. That's literally the first hack. And it's kind of crazy how when I started to do this, I realized just how many people were doing this. Like, it was so bad to the point where I actually realized how how repetitive content actually is. We're all posting the same content, to be honest. And this is why it's so easy to stand out as well. Don't be afraid to show more of your personality, because that's going to be your edge. And I promise you, no matter who you are, there are at least 1 million people in this world that will be interested in getting to know who you are. They just haven't found you yet. So post that content. Now that you've started doing your research, the rabbit hole continues. The spiraling, going down, 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 down. You're going to feel a lot of pressure because you're going to realize just how consistent the real guys that are at the top are. I remember when I started out, I thought posting 4 to 5 times a week or something. Up until I realized that the guys that had millions of followers were posting 5 times a day. Obviously, they have a team behind them. But I realized that I could at least bump my numbers to at least post once a day. And this was something that I never thought I could possibly do in the beginning, if I'm being completely honest. But like I said, it's all about reps. The more punches you throw, the lighter the punches become. So hence it becomes easy for you to keep throwing more punches. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, deep into the rabbit hole, the spiraling is continuing. But what you're also going to realize is, like I said, it's a simple framework. People are not doing things that are too complicated to win. So you do your research, you get into the rabbit hole, and you start digging yourself back up, right? You start seeing some light, and that's when the game actually starts getting interesting. Now, in the process as well, you have editing apps, these CapCut. You have things like InShot. You have I think there's another app that I use, which is Captions, right? You're going to learn how to use this. I was intimidated, I don't want to lie to you. The first time I actually downloaded CapCut, I had no idea what I was doing. But it took me about a week of doing research and learning from other YouTubers on how to use CapCut, and then, yeah, I was proficient enough to use it. Okay, now on execution. You need to understand that by the time you start and you're in the process, you're already executing, to be honest. But the reason why I put it here is because there's a certain level of execution you should have to win, right? And something that branches out from execution is iteration. This is going to be your biggest cheat code in winning. And iteration is basically going back, to the research, looking at your video, comparing and contrasting, seeing what does well over the span of 30 days. And then taking the videos that you've posted that do well and start studying them specifically one by one to be like, oh, okay, this video did well because maybe it was 5 to 7 seconds long, right? Meaning it would catch people's attention for a shorter amount of time. Henceforth, people didn't mind to watch the video. On top of that, maybe you put an engaging hook on the video and you used a nice sound. One thing I noticed about going viral is that the way the algorithm works is let's say, for example, you have 1,000 followers, right? So what happens is, sorry, as soon as you post that video, what's going to happen is Instagram is going to show it to maybe a pool of 100 people first. And the way a video goes viral is by how it passes this test. So if at least 50% of people like your video, you're going to pass this test and you're going to go through, right? And what's going to happen is Instagram is going to show your video to even more people, 500. And if it passes this test again, it's going to keep going like this. It gets to 1,000, same thing, passes. 10,000, same thing, passes. So that's how it works. This is why you should use very good hooks in your videos, because the first 3 seconds of any video are the most important one. Because what happens is, as soon as someone gets to your video, you say something or they see something that catches their attention, they are more than likely going to be forced to stop and get to the end because they are on the edge of their seats and they want to see what's going to happen next. Now, the most important part, the results. This part is very tricky because it's very easy to get discouraged, especially if you're not getting the results that you want. And 9 times out of 10, I promise you, within the first 3 to 12 months, you're more than likely not going to get the results that you want at all. But that's okay. Now, this is where it gets tricky because you could actually be posting good content. But another thing about the algorithm that I forgot to tell you is that it also rewards consistency. So you could post 5 good videos, right? And none of them go viral and think that you're doing a bad job. This is why I believe in the 30-day game plan rule. Post 30 videos per day, right? For the next 30 days. And use the results you get after those 30 days as a benchmark. Because honestly, 5 videos is not enough. But if you have 30 videos under your belt, right, you have a much clearer pathway to see, okay, this is the video that's working. Because sometimes another thing is you might want to post certain content, but you might realize that there's a particular style that people want from you. And sometimes in the beginning, especially if you want to win, you just have to give the people what they want. Right? Don't be hard-headed. Double down on what's working for you, and then go ahead with it. A perfect example of this is Ashton Hall. Ashton Hall could be wanting to be posting more videos where he speaks to people or he speaks in front of the camera, but he's doubling down on the quick cut content, the or him being served, or him saying thank you all the time, or him being in the air for 4 minutes. You see, that's the content that's working for his brand right now. So you sometimes have to ride the wave to get some serious results. Because if you can see now, I think he grew from like 3 million to 15 million. Sorry, he grew from 3 million to about 14 million followers within the last 2 to 3 weeks, which is insane growth, to be honest. So sometimes, like what I'm saying, you have to give the people what they want. Now, please, 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 and I beg of you, we all want to have millions of followers, millions of views, and to make millions of dollars. But the truth is, you can never truly anticipate when the exact day all this is going to happen. That's just the harsh reality. And if you can't accept that, then I'm sorry, you're not ready to become a content creator. This is why I encourage you guys to fall in love with this. This is the secret. If you can fall in love with this part of it, everything becomes easier. And sooner or later, you know what's crazy? If you focus on the start, the process, the execution, and you as the creator, the iteration, what's funny is you start to see results that you deserve, results that you want, and sooner or later you start getting results that you haven't even worked for. A perfect example is me. There was a specific Instagram account that I was building and I was struggling in the beginning. I literally spent 2 whole months making 2 pieces of content every single day, paying attention to all this that I've just spoken about. And I got to a point where I just started to believe that I wasn't good enough. But regardless of that pain that I felt, I still continued to post that content. So for 2 to 3 months, I was posting twice a day. I only went from 0 to about 500 followers. You can imagine how I felt. That was so insane, and I was hurt. But you won't believe what happened next. From 3 to 6 months. So it took me 6 months to grow that account from 0 to 10,000 followers. That same account I was struggling with. So here's exactly what happened. I took 3 months to go from 0 to 500, and then I took 3 more months to go from 500 to like 10,200. So that was the power of being consistent, the power of iteration, and the power of showing up regardless of how I felt. So this is why I encourage all of you to focus on this side of my 360 game plan. You see what I'm saying? Because once you just focus on this, funny enough, you start to fall in love with the whole thing. It becomes a game of you just leveling up. So what you need to do is find at least something that you love from here. Something. Even something as small as using CapCut or using InShot or using captions to edit your videos. You need to find at least one thing that you're going to fall in love with, especially on this side, so that you don't focus too much on this. And as a result, this will come while you least expect it. Because, like I said, there's no perfect way that I can say, okay, if you post every day for the next 6 months, you're going to get 1 million followers and you're going to make $1 million. I wish there was a blueprint that could give us exact results when we want them, but that's just not the reality. One thing I can guarantee is if you do show up consistently every other day, you are going to get better. That's something that happened to me, and this is why I'm even having the confidence to be here with you guys on YouTube. That's something I never thought I was going to do. And funny enough, when I actually decided that I'm going to become a YouTuber one day, and I was thinking about this sometime in January, I thought that I was going to do it next year in 2026. But now I realize that, imagine I'm going to lose a year of, being the loser or sucking at it. And now I'm slowly getting better. You understand? So, yeah.